Welcome to our channel. If you love traveling but are on a budget, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving into some incredible destinations where you can explore, adventure, and soak in rich cultures without breaking the bank. From the ancient wonders of Egypt to the vibrant cities of South Korea, the stunning landscapes of South Africa, the tropical beauty of the Philippines, the unique wildlife of Madagascar, the majestic mountains of Nepal, and the historic charm of Uzbekistan, here are the best 10 countries that are friendly budget 2025. Number 10. Egypt. Traveling to Egypt will primarily cost you money for airfare, lodging, transportation, meals, and activities. A round-trip ticket to Egypt might cost anywhere from $500 to $1,500, depending on the airline and season. The price per night of lodging can vary from $10 to $50 for cheap hotels or hostels, $50 to $150 for mid-range hotels, and $500 to $500 for luxury hotels. Egypt boasts a well-developed public transit infrastructure. A one-way ticket for the subway or train costs between $1 and $1.50. Food costs per person can vary greatly, with mid-range restaurants charging $15 to $30, high-end restaurants charging $50 to $100, and budget restaurants charging $5 to $10. Citizens of the United States need a visa to enter Egypt. Upon arriving at Egyptian airports, U.S. citizens can purchase a renewable, single-entry 30-day tourist visa for $25. You can also purchase a multiple-entry visa for $60. A website for the granting of e-visas has been established by the Egyptian government. If you want a special offer to have a trip to Egypt, just write me in a comment. Number 9. South Korea. Typically, a one-person journey to South Korea costs about $748, while a two-person vacation costs about $1,497. This covers lodging, meals, local transit, and sightseeing. The average cost of a two-week trip to South Korea is approximately $1,497 for an individual and $2,994 for a pair. This price covers lodging, meals, local transit, and touring. Note that costs may change depending on your preferred method of transportation, pace, and other factors. When traveling in a family of 3 or 4, the cost per person generally decreases because shared hotel rooms and lower prices for children's tickets apply. Over an extended duration of slower travel, your daily budget will decrease as well. In South Korea, a two-person trip lasting 1 month will typically cost less per person per day than a single-person trip lasting 1 week. The average cost of a 1-month travel to South Korea is $3,208 for individuals and $6,415 for couples. The daily cost will rise as you visit more locations because transportation expenses will rise. Number 8. South Africa. There are a few important things to think about when estimating the cost of a trip to South Africa. An approximate range of $800 to $1,500 is what you should budget for a round-trip ticket from major U.S. cities. The cost of lodging varies based on your preferences. It can range from $30 per night for cheap motels or hostels to $300 per night for luxurious hotels. Thankfully, South Africa boasts a well-developed and effective public transport network, where a one-way ticket for a subway or train typically costs between $1 and $2. There are many different dining alternatives available in South Africa to fit any budget. Delicious meals can be had at inexpensive eateries for $5 to $10 per person if you're trying to save money. For those looking for a mid-range eating experience, budget between $15 and $30 per person. It's crucial to remember that costs can change based on the restaurant's location and style. Number 7. Philippines. There are a few things to think about when estimating the cost of a trip to the Philippines. Flights can cost anywhere from $500 to $1,500 for a round-trip ticket, depending on the carrier and season. Options for lodging range from inexpensive hostels or motels with nightly rates as low as $15 to upscale hotels with nightly rates as high as $200. The nation boasts a well-developed and effective public transport network, with one-way subway or train tickets priced between 50 cents and $1.50. In terms of cuisine, mid-range restaurants may set you back between $10 and $15 per person, but you can get a great meal at a budget restaurant for as low as $3. In the Philippines, budget travelers should plan on spending between $30 and $50 per day. This covers lodging, food, travel, and certain activities. On the other side, budget between $70 and $100 a day if you want a more comfortable mid-range experience. Remember that these are only estimates and that in order to make a budget that works for you, you must prepare ahead of time and do your homework on expenditures and activities. Prepare to discover the breathtaking scenery, lively culture, and kind hospitality of the Philippines without going over budget. Number 6. Madagascar. There are a few important things to think about when estimating the cost of a trip to Madagascar. Depending on the airline and season, a round-trip ticket from large cities might cost anywhere between $800 and $1,500. The cost of lodging varies as well, whereas luxury hotels can cost $200 or more per night. Cheap motels and hostels often cost about $20. The nation's public transport network is not very large, but it is reasonably effective, with one-way train or metro tickets costing between $1 and $5. For as little as $5 per person, you can eat at a nearby budget restaurant if you're on a tight budget. Should you be seeking a mid-range dining experience, budget between $15 and $25 per person. It's critical to prepare ahead of time and do cost and activity analyses in order to develop a budget that suits your needs. Number 5. Nepal. The primary expenses to take into account when calculating the overall cost of a vacation to Nepal are airfare, lodging, transportation, meals, and activities. The cost of a round-trip ticket to Nepal might vary from $500 to $1,500 based on the season and the origin of the flight. The price of lodging can vary greatly, with luxury hotels charging $200 or more per night and budget motels or hostels charging as little as $10. The public transport network in Nepal is well developed and reasonably priced. A one-way ticket for a metro or train will set you back between 50 cents and $1.50. Depending on where you eat, you can find meals for as little as $2 per person at budget eateries and around $10 per person at mid-range establishments. In Nepal, budget tourists can plan to spend $20 to $30 per day, while mid-range travelers should budget between $50 and $70. It's critical to prepare ahead of time and do cost and activity analyses in order to develop a budget that suits your needs. Number 4. Uzbekistan. It's crucial to take a number of things into account when estimating travel expenses to Uzbekistan. Depending on where you're leaving from and when you're traveling, the range of airline prices in US dollars for a round-trip ticket can change. You should budget, on average, between $500 and $1,500. Regarding lodging, Uzbekistan has a variety of choices to fit any budget. There is accommodation to suit every budget, with pleasant hostels and inexpensive hotels starting at about $20 per night to opulent hotels costing between $100 and $300 per night. What the budget or mid-range visitor should plan to spend per day in Uzbekistan. If you're on a tight budget, you should allocate between $30 to $50 each day for lodging, meals, transportation, and activities. You may explore Uzbekistan's natural beauty and rich culture on this budget without going overboard. As a mid-range visitor, however, you should budget between $70 and $100 a day to enjoy a more luxurious experience, complete with better dining options and lodging. Remember that in order to make a budget that works for you, you must plan ahead and do your homework on expenses and activities. Number 3. Indonesia. Flights to Indonesia can cost anything from $500 to $1,500 for a round-trip ticket, depending on the carrier and season. The cost of lodging varies as well, although luxury hotels can cost up to $300 per night. Budget hotels and hostels can start as low as $10. In terms of transit, Indonesia boasts a vast and effective public transportation network that includes trains and subways. These transportation options provide one-way tickets that range in price from 50 cents to $5. In Indonesia, a budget tourist may get by with as little as $30 to $50 a day for lodging, meals, transportation, and activities. A mid-range visitor can budget between $50 and $100 each day. Nevertheless, if they are ready to splurge on specific experiences and would rather be slightly more comfortable, it's critical to prepare ahead of time and do cost and activity analyses in order to develop a budget that suits your needs. You may have an incredible trip to Indonesia without going over budget if you plan wisely and keep an eye on your spending. Number 2. Brazil. The cost of a round-trip ticket from major American cities to Brazil can range from $500 to $1,500. The cost of lodging varies greatly as well, whereas luxury hotels can cost anywhere from $150 to $500 per night. Cheap hotels or hostels often start at about $20 per night. Regarding transportation, Brazil boasts a vast and effective public transport network, where a one-way subway or train ticket costs between 50 cents and $1.50. Brazil provides a diverse array of dining options to accommodate all budgets. While mid-range restaurants may set you back $15 to $30 per person, budget eateries can serve you a tasty dinner for as little as $5. Let's now discuss daily spending. A low-budget traveler should budget between $40 and $60 per day for lodging, meals, transportation, and activities. Conversely, a tourist on a mid-range budget should budget between $80 and $120 a day. It's critical to prepare ahead of time and do cost and activity analyses in order to develop a budget that suits your needs. Number 1. Mongolia. Depending on the time of year and the point of departure, round-trip tickets to Mongolia might cost anywhere from $600 to $1,500. The cost of lodging also varies, with luxury hotels charging up to $200 per night and cheap hotels or hostels charging as little as $15. The nation's public transit network is comparatively vast and effective, with one-way subway or train tickets priced between 20 cents and $1.50. In terms of cuisine, you can eat for about $5 per person at a low-cost restaurant or for about $15 per person at a mid-range establishment. For travelers on a tight budget, preparation and cost and activity research are essential. A budget traveler visiting Mongolia should pay between $30 and $50 per day for lodging, meals, transportation, and sightseeing. But remember that costs can change based on your vacation preferences and style. A mid-range tourist, on the other hand, can budget between $80 and $120 per day, which gives them a little more comfort and freedom. To have an amazing trip to Mongolia without going over budget, keep in mind that the secret is to create a budget that works for you. Thanks for watching. We hope you found inspiration for your next budget-friendly adventure. From the ancient wonders of Egypt to the vibrant culture of Uzbekistan, there's a world of affordable travel waiting for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more travel tips and guides. Share your thoughts and any budget-friendly travel tips in the comments below. Happy travels!